Good evening, everyone, as the NCAA Women's Volleyball Tournament continues from Maple Pavilion. We are in the second round, and we are about to get things going between the 1-seed Stanford Cardinal out of the Pac-12 and the LSU Tigers out of the SEC. Troy Clarity and Tim Ford taking you through this one. Tim, LSU 16-13 out of the SEC, got in the win column with the 4-set win over Hawaii, but Stanford 25-4 on the season, winners of 19 straight, one of the hottest teams in the country as of right now.
You got to go back to September 25th at Oregon, the last time that Stanford lost a match. So they have been very, very strong. But LSU's playing with some confidence, and they played really well against a seeded Hawaii team last night. The one thing that LSU does so well is they are one of the best teams in terms of digs in the country. They led the SEC in digs, so they're going to have to play some defensive volleyball and kind of find some points against Stanford tonight.
Ella Larkin helping to lead the charge for LSU in that department. Let's go ahead and give you the starters for both squads, starting with the Tigers. Paige Flickinger, Josie Vondran, Sene Dotson, Anita Anwusi, and Aaliyah Williams with Ella Larkin as the libero. Meanwhile, for the Stanford Cardinal, it is Cami Miner, Kendall Kipp, Elia Rubin, McKenna Bikini, and Katie Baird with Elena Ogilvie as the libero. Winner of this one moves on to the Sweet 16, where they will face either Houston or Auburn. That match is happening right now. We'll certainly keep you up to speed on that. But here at Maples, away we go. The Tigers and the Cardinal. Enjoy the match. Katie Baird sends one this way, and it's too long. 1-0 Tigers.
Oh, you can't script a better start for LSU. They haven't been to the Sweet 16 since 1991. So this is a very big game, a very big match for the Tigers, and a big start for them.
Back over to Baird. Dotson rises. And off the touch, gets the point. 2-0 Tigers. Sene Dotson, the senior transfer originally from Houston, Texas. Most of LSU's points come through her.
They're going to look to feed her a lot.
LSU serving. Paige Flickinger with the serve for the Tigers. Kendall Kipp just gets it down, 2-1. Kendall Kipp had an All-America season last year and is very well on pace to have another one this year. She is indeed the Pac-12 Player of the Year. Another look, just getting in the corner. Miner's serve. The quick one. Did Lucy get it down? Not quite. 2-2.
Yeah, it's a little long on that quick attack.
Cami Miner, sophomore from Redondo Beach. She's the Pac-12 Setter of the Year. Anwusi hammers it down. Anita Anwusi, a senior from Houston, leads the Tigers in hit percentage with .290 coming into this match. LSU ahead 3-2.
Yeah, 6'3" middle, so not a towering middle, but she's really, really quick. You just saw right there, went in system. It's looked pretty pretty from LSU.
Off the serve from Larkin, the quick push, Bikini, saved by Larkin. Dotson back row. Kendall Kipp doing what Kendall Kipp does. We're tied at 3.
Yeah, I mentioned second-team All-American last year. She'll be an All-American again. And nice set from Miner.
Miner, the Setter of the Year. Kipp, the Pac-12 Player of the Year. Baird serving. Dotson rising. Trying a soft touch. Cross court. Yes, indeed. Kendall Kipp, another kill.
Yeah, I guess so. It's 3 attempts, 3 kills for Kipp, who really, as well as Kendall Kipp plays, that is how far Stanford will go in this NCAA tournament.
And she, even though she's gotten a lot of help, she has really taken top billing for the Cardinal of late, especially in their 19-match win streak that stretches back to September, and much of that done without Sammy Francis, who continues to be unavailable for the moment. No timetable for her return.
Yeah, Stanford, I mean, they've won 19 straight matches without one of their best players. And Sammy, the 6'6" middle, She adds kind of a different element to Stanford, but they figured things out with her in street clothes for this one.
Maddie Walk serving, the quick one, going up and putting it down. Stanford back on top, 5-4. Stanford back with the lead. Elena Ogilvie with the serve.
Great serve.
And Rubin gets it to go.
That thing was dipping, and it really gave LSU problems. And they had that first hit overpass, and just an excellent serve.
We'll give you a look from down the net on the finish. Ogilvie serving again. Samara Hill handles it, and Hill tries to finish and gets it. 6-5. Samara Hill, the senior from Oviedo, Florida, just outside of Orlando, made the SEC All-Freshman team in 2019.
Had 7 kills, hit 231 last night, and that went over Hawaii. A little bit of an upset, not a huge upset.
Yeah, 2 evenly matched squads last night. Into the net, yep, here so. LSU gets the point.
Hawaii was seeded, but LSU's very good. They've played a really, really difficult schedule.
2-5 against ranked teams this year. They did beat 15th ranked Kentucky along the way. Rubin, you could hear that hammer all throughout Maple Pavilion. 7-6. Elliot Rubin, the freshman from Los Angeles.
Yeah, 5 times the freshman of the week in the Pac-12. She has been the really one of the motors for Stanford in terms of hitters.
Kendall Kipp serving. Walk. Flickinger. Two liberos putting in work, but it's Rubin who gets the finish.
Ogilvie with just a ridiculous dig. And yeah, smile. That was ridiculous.
Not a bad one by Larkin either for LSU. But the point goes to Stanford.
LSU's pretty good in terms of digging balls out.
Yep.
They're going to need to dig a lot tonight.
Larkin is the SEC's digs leader. Not much the Tigers can do with that one. Kipp rises and fires. 9-6.
Okay, I think LSU's thinking about a timeout. Once you get to this 3-point little difference, if Stanford could string together a couple more points, you start getting a little bit of room when you play this rally scoring at 25.
Kipp, 4 swings, 4 kills. Back set. Minor. Handled well by Annabelle Smith. And Stanford starting to find a bit of a groove. And perhaps sensing that, Tanya Johnson calls timeout.
And probably a little bit earlier than you normally want to, but when you're playing one of the best teams in the country in the NCAA tournament, you have to use those timeouts early in sets.
Tanya Johnson in her first year as the head coach at LSU, but of course, her days with the Tigers go way back to her playing days collegiately. She played for LSU in the late 80s, part of that 1990 Final Four team for the Tigers. And in fact, she replaced Fran Flory, who retired after 24 years after LSU's head coach. And certainly Tanya Johnson, one of the best recruiters in the game. The things that she was able to do at Texas, where she was their associate head coach under Jarrett Elliott, was there from 2014 to 2021. And the proof is in the pudding. The talent that is still there at Texas, absolutely incredible that she was able to bring to Austin. Big things expected of her for her alma mater of Baton Rouge.
Yeah, and she was part of some really, really good teams in the history of LSU. Of volleyball, it is a program that has really, I think, starting to rise, and this is a huge test for them tonight. This is a measuring stick match coming here to Stanford. Cardinal with the most ever NCAA championships, most ever Final Fours, most ever NCAA wins. Stanford has 123 NCAA wins. LSU has 15. But you kind of get the feeling with Coach Johnson, she is starting to build this program up and getting the right pieces in place.
Tigers were picked 8th in the SEC poll this year, but they were one of 7 teams from that conference to make it into the NCAA tournament.
I think the one thing LSU struggled with big time early in this match is service return and service receiving. And it mishandled the serve maybe 4 or 5 times, and that is why Stanford is up 10-6. So we'll see if they can kind of tighten that up and improve some of their passing off of serving. Hard to do it when she's serving, though.
Yep, Kendall Kipp as we go back to action. Far side rising Hill. Just out of bounds. Well, when you're playing a team like Stanford, you can't afford to make many mistakes. And that's certainly one that Hill's going to want to have back. Kipp again. Cardinals scored 5 in a row.
Oh.
Kipp again. 5 swings, 5 kills, and now a 6-0 scoring run for the Cards.
Yeah, unfortunately for LSU, I think Coach Johnson, if Kipp scores again here, might have to think about using that second timeout. But again, LSU struggling receiving serve.
Yep.
Better there.
Yep. Flickinger tries to flick it over. Almost perplexes Stanford, but Minor able to help save it. The hammer right to the corner. Well long from Rubin. A much needed point for the Tigers, 12-7.
Tough swing there for Rubin. Kind of the angle and backing up. Much needed point for LSU.
There's a Leo Williams, the junior from Houston. No shortage of players repping the 7-1-3 on this LSU squad.
Third Coast.
Oh, is that what they call it?
Oh, yeah.
Huh, news to me. But we call that a kill no matter where you're from. Elliot Rubin, actually Katie Baird handling that one.
You have the area code. One of my roommates in college used to call it Third Coast, H-Town. A lot of great volleyball in that area.
Yeah.
And over the years, Stanford's had a few players from that area.
So Rubin with the kill, and now to serve. On Wusi. Well, that was just a missile. Larkin in self-defense. Not much he could do there. 14-7.
Now, Moose put a pretty good swing on it, but yeah. Stanford, just the ability to go from defense to offense quickly. This is just one of the, I think, the best things Stanford does is pass. Helps, of course, when you got Minor setting you up.
Just off the tape and down for the point.
The let cord winner there. And you hit the ball as hard as Kipp does. Sometimes you kind of hit it through the tape.
Rubin serving again. A 9-1 run for the Cardinal. Ooh, net at the net. Smith and Minor win that battle. And right now it is all Cardinal with the timeout on the floor. Stanford ahead of LSU 16-7 as we're underway here in the first set. Back to Maples in a moment. Maples Pavilion the scene. Stanford with a 16-7 lead over LSU as we're here in the first set. Troy Clarity and Tim Swartz with you. Winner of this one meets either Houston or Auburn. That match is underway. They've moved on to the fourth set with Houston leading that one. Check that, Auburn leading that one 2-1. Houston actually had set point 24-23 in the first, but Auburn came back to win that one 27-25. So went back and forth. Second set went to Houston. Third set went to Auburn. Fourth set right now, Houston with a 17-16 lead. So the Cougars are trying to force a fifth set and punch their ticket to the Sweet 16 to face either of these two teams, Stanford or LSU.
Hey, Auburn last night beat the 4 seed Creighton in 5.
Yep, in Omaha.
Very much like LSU, unranked or unseeded SEC team coming up big in the first round.
Katie Baird finds the right spot, 17-7. Well, when you want your big weapons to step up, so far so good for Stanford in that department. Kendall Kipp hitting 1,000, 6 kills on 6 swings. Katie Baird with her second kill of the night. Ellie Rubin with 4 in the early going. I was telling you, Johnson's trying to figure out how to stop the onslaught. And Stanford doing good things at the net, too.
That second block for the Cardinal. Stanford is hitting .550. LSU hitting -71.
Flickinger from the back row. Skips back to Dotson. On Wusi. And into the net. So the point for the Tigers. Stanford hasn't done much wrong, but LSU says, okay, we'll take that.
The top side of this bracket, second-seeded San Diego, third-seeded Kentucky, did not have many troubles tonight, so both of them move on. So that's the top side of this quadrant. Stanford, if they win, they will host next weekend.
Yep. Minor the back set. Dug out well. And Stanford able to finish off and get the point. Gil Bonet with a nice dig, but it's Stanford who comes away with the point. Well, Cardinal, as of right now, getting it done with swings, passing well, and also beating LSU at the net. The quick dump that works. Bondra.
LSU needed that. And you don't want to say a set's over, but it's 19-9. If you're LSU right here, you just want to win some points and feel good heading into the second set. And one of the things I always love about volleyball is that first set's over, you can lose 25-0. 25-1 doesn't matter. You move on to the second set, and it's a whole new set.
Bondra using the quick diagnosis. Meanwhile, Bikini using more traditional means of scoring, hammering it down for the kill, 20-9.
8 kills last night against Pepperdine.
The redshirt junior from Lexington, Kentucky. That's SEC country. Bikini named All Pac-12 honorable mention. Too long, a serve. 20-10, LSU with the point.
You look at last night's match. Stanford won the first 25-11, second pretty comfortably 25-18. Then Pepperdine came back and won the third. The fourth was pretty competitive as well. So things can change quickly if you gain a little bit of confidence at the end of a set. This is big for LSU.
The serve from Larkin doesn't clear the tape.
There's been about 4 times the ball's hit the tape and it's gone Stanford's way. Home tape.
Remember when this set was tied at 6 apiece?
Ooh.
Baird serving. To the back row. Kip.
Oh.
Got it down. Tough angle, but able to finish.
Yeah, I think LSU's brought in Bonet to maybe defensive specialist a little bit in terms of serve return. That was a little bit better the last few points for the Tigers in terms of that first pass off the serve.
23-10.
That first ace for Stanford.
Katie Baird named All Pac-12 this season. As a hush falls over Maples. Saved by Bonet. Hammered by Bikini. And now it's set point.
And Cardinal hitting .481. And LSU's in negative territory, negative 45. +5 in digs, +3 in blocks. Picture perfect first set for the Cardinals so far.
Dotson's able to extend the set. Sine Dotson Coming into this one with a team-high 478 points, gets her second kill of this match. Named Offensive Player of the Week in the SEC back in September 19th. Transferred from Oklahoma after the 2020 season. Maddie Walk, a freshman from Brookshire, Texas, in the Houston area. Walk serving. Did Kip finish? Nope, Dodson got there first. Out of bounds and out of reach for LSU. And set number one won convincingly by the Cardinal. Stanford putting it all together. Swings, passing, winning at the net, and back row defense. And they take the first set over LSU 25-11. The set number two coming up in just a moment from Maples here on ESPN+.
Welcome back courtside to Maples Pavilion. A dominant first set from Stanford. The Cardinal take it 25-11. Tim and Troy with you, and just everything went well, as you were saying at the end of that first set for Stanford.
And a perfect set for Kendall Kipp. 8 swings, 8 kills. Stanford as a team hit 483 in that first set. LSU hitting 0, and for everything that went right for the Cardinal, not a whole lot went right for the Tigers. Serve, receive was a big problem for them, and they just couldn't really generate anything, mostly as a result of that. So LSU will try to get that cleaned up here in the second set, while Kevin Hambly and the Stanford Cardinal will try, okay, let's try to find ways to build on this and keep it going.
The point you had, Troy, it was 6-6 in that first set, and then Stanford ends up winning 19 of the last 24 points. A big reason why, the woman right there, number 10, Kendall Kipp, who had 8 kills and just went on a huge run on her serve as well.
Yeah, and you see one of the things that Kevin Hambly likes about what Kendall Kipp has done, particularly this season. Kevin says, her physicality helps Stanford stand out. We certainly saw that in a big way, just about every way possible in that first set. But of course, much more volleyball to come.
Now, it could be a very different second and third set. We'll see how the Tigers respond. And Stanford got a few let chords and a few tapes go their way. And it only works when it gets to number 10. 9 for 9, a perfect first set and first point thus far for the All-American Kendall Kipp. But Stanford last night, a kind of a surprising 4-setter with Pepperdine with 21 kills. Stanford has not lost a match since September 25th. Dug out in the back line. The tip, and it slowly knocks onto our broadcast table. Rubin with the kill.
I could handle that one. That one bounced off of our table. Oh, by the way, Elia Rubin, an impressive start. She had 4 kills in that first set.
That was Baird, by the way. Rubin had the dig. 2-zip Stanford here. What a nice little dig there from Minor, and the perfect night continues. Number 10 is 10 for 10.
Well, when you're hot, you're hot. What was it? Christian Leitner went 10 for 10 in that game for Duke against in the 92
against that was put away against Kentucky, maybe?
Kentucky, thank you. I was trying to remember who it was against. Lucy's got a nice swing. She uncorked some absolute lasers during the course of last night's match against Hawaii. 10 kills and hit 300. She can certainly bring the lasers. 2 kills
for Mbusi. That's the kill leader for LSU so far tonight. See if they can get into their offense. Kipp finally is denied, and Wusi and Fondren were there, and a block for LSU. Their first of the match.
Well, and that's one of the many things that's going to turn around for LSU, right? Winning battles at the net.
Kipp? No, you're not going to stop her twice. There's kill number 11 on swing 12. Stanford, 9 times the NCAA champions, including 2019. 23 times in the Final Four. 17 times in the national championship match. Kevin Hamby here at Stanford is 67-8 at Maples Pavilion. So it is a very difficult place to win. LSU trying to stay in this match. Overpass Cardinal had a free swing. They go out left, and Dotson's blocked at the net. Vicini was there for part of the double block.
Well, let's start here. How in the world did Ogilvy get to that ball to even keep it alive? Meanwhile, Stanford doing its usual business at the net.
Kip, of course, will get credit for a little bit of a block there. Rare service error in this match. Just the third against Stanford, one against LSU.
And there have been times where serve errors have kind of become contagious for the Cardinal.
Here's Libero. Larkin led the SEC in digs per set. This team led the SEC in digs per set. Nice pass. Minor. Back set. Kip, the roll shot. She has shown the power, and there's some finesse.
Well, and again, it begins with that young lady, Ogilvy. Superb pass, giving her teammates a chance, making it 6-3.
Libero of the year in the Pac-12 with the Iolani School in Honolulu. The tape ace. 7-3 Cardinal, up a set already. Cardinal winning the first set 25-11. The first set was 6-6. At this point, very close before the Cardinal went on the run. A little bit more room for Stanford as we have the second set underway. Dotson able to put it away. That's her third kill on 9 attacks.
Sinead Dotson. I remember her dad, Santana, former NFL defensive lineman, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, won a Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers, Super Bowl 31. I remember watching him wreak havoc.
Nice serve. Minor set. The tip shots. Down for Rubin.
And Rubin with a little shimmy as she goes back to the huddle with her teammates to celebrate it. And rightfully so. Well done. Diagnosing the situation, just finding the open hole in the floor and just poking it over there.
Well, here's Kendall Kip. 12 kills. And a block and 2 digs for good measure. And some excellent serving as well. That's deep. Untouched. Point Cardinal. LSU back to hitting 0 so far in this match. Stanford hitting 500 in the match. And you've been with us. We've talked a lot about Kendall Kip because she's hitting 846. And she went on a huge run on her serve in that first set. Point to the Tigers, who try to climb back into the second. 9-5 Cardinal.
Yeah, Stanford is of right now hitting 500 for this match. They hit 605 against USC right here in this building on October 23rd.
Here's Dotson, the leader in terms of aces for LSU with 25 this season. Minor, oh, nice little backhanded dump. Couldn't get it to go. Big dig, left. Rubin gets it to go down. Elia with her 6th kill, the second most in this match.
Yeah, and Hill just couldn't find that one after the ball was redirected straight up into the air. Couldn't quite tell whether it was going to land on her side of the net or the others, and just couldn't locate it in time.
Rubin serving, the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of California before she came up here to Stanford. Set middle, and the tip shot down for Williams, the middle blocker out of Houston, who had 5 kills and 7 blocks in that victory last night over Hawaii.
And she's also spent time at setter in her LSU career. Back in the 2020 season, had 20 assists at Tennessee that season.
LSU seeking their first win ever against a college from the state of California in the NCAA tournament. They're 0-5. That one put away by Baird. Point Cardinal, 11-6 in the second.
And LSU just can't really get a rhythm going. They have yet to record more than 2 points in a row to this point in the match. They won't even have the chance to get to 2 points in a row after that sequence.
Velarde off the bench, service specialist for the Cardinal. The overpass Minor puts it away, and timeout Tigers. Stanford taking the first 25-11. They are cruising here in the second, looking to win this one and host the regionals next weekend. Up a set to nothing and 12-6. Back in a moment on ESPN+. Stanford up a set, 12-6 here in the second after winning the first 25-11. And Troy, we got a scoring update for the winner of this match, who their next opponent will be.
Yeah, Houston has forced a fifth set over Auburn. That is currently in progress. Cougars leading the Tigers 7-4. And that has been an entertaining match in Omaha to this point. The winner of that one meets the winner of this one.
So if Stanford were to win, they would host the regionals to get to the Final Four, which is in Omaha this year, next weekend. If Stanford does not win, it would go to the 2-seed San Diego. San Diego and Kentucky, the other two teams from this quadrant of the bracket that has put their place in the Sweet 16. And Wusi with the put away. She has been very, very good for LSU in this one. Their best attacker with 3 kills, hitting .286, their best percentage. Dotson with 4 leads the way for the Tigers, who are hitting just .86 so far in this match. Stanford at .512.
Yeah, and once Onwusi reaches back, just get ready for a heater.
The jump. Minor. She's not afraid to do that. Averages about 7/10 of a kill, which is about 3 kills every 4 sets.
Yeah, it's the best part of her offensive repertoire. And, of course, as the setter, that's not normally her role, but she can certainly get Stanford points in that respect. Coming into this match, hitting .481 as a setter.
Setting up this offense, which was number 5 in the nation in terms of hitting percentage. Big swing off the top of the block for Baird. Off the block, kept alive. Baird, tough swing. LSU gets into some offense. They set out left, and point to the Cardinal. Well, Stanford, I mentioned, they're not just top 10 in the country in hitting, they're also top 10 in the country in terms of blocks.
Yep. Averaging 2.7 blocks per set coming into this one. As you get another look, there's Kip, and there is Vicini.
14 serving 7 here in the second. A little off speed from Kip. Ooh, what a dig. Minor, the one-handed set, just a little bit behind Vicini.
A little bit of an oops moment there for Stanford, but for LSU, Flickinger has already taken 13 swings, has yet to record a single kill. She's hitting -231. LSU's better serve trying to find Dotson and Onwusi.
And the block. Well, consecutive points here for the Tigers as they are getting back into this second set. 14-9 Stanford. Getting a little bit sharper since the timeouts. Flickinger, 11 kills, hit 182 last night, but as Troy just mentioned, 3 errors and no kills tonight against the first-seeded Cardinal. And Wusi, Anita Onwusi, the middle, 6'3", maybe a little undersized for a middle, but definitely has the springiness, and there's her 4th kill in 9 attempts.
Yeah, can go up and get it and swat it down. If you're 6'3", that'll allow you to do some big things. Another look.
3-0 run for the Tigers, who's starting to get something going, and right when they do, there's Kendall Kipp, 13th kill. She started the match 10 for 10. Katie Baird, second-team All-American last year. 3.4 kills a set, hit .252 this season. Part of this vaunted Stanford attack. Great serve. LSU all types of trouble. And the Cardinal in system. Put away right through the middle. Vicini, 4 kills on 6 attempts.
I mean, it's just like practice right now, it seems, for Stanford.
Vicini, the human bio major, red-shirted the year Stanford won the national championship. Of course, the 2020-2021 season was bizarre for Stanford. They had restrictions that nobody else in the country had. Sports were illegal in this county for a very long time. Kipp puts it away.
Look, let's be real. 2020 was rough on everyone, but Kendall Kipp just keeping it going. That's her 14th kill already of the night.
14 kills on 18 swings, 722 for Kendall Kipp. And the Cardinal open it up 17-10 here in the second. LSU does have one timeout remaining. Dotson just sneaking in front of the line. Big time swing.
Well, and you see the difference when balls are being set towards Onwusi and towards Dotson. Those are your big weapons. You need them as involved in the attack as much as you possibly can.
Dotson has 5 kills, and Wusi has 4. Everybody else in LSU has 3. So it's those two that are carrying the load. That was off of the block. So give Rubin a kill. Elia with her 7th kill, the second most on this Cardinal team tonight. She's got 5 digs as well. Chance for a double-double.
12 kills, 15 digs last night against Pepperdine.
Dotson. That's her 6th.
Well, and maybe not the cleanest sequence for LSU, as you know, Vondran kind of had to cover a lot of ground just to even be able to set it up, but Dotson able to clean it up and finish it off.
18-12 Stanford in the second. Minor sets left. Ooh, through the window. Rubin. There's that little window that she had between the two blockers, and she split them. And the quickness of Stanford's offense, LSU, I think, is kind of struggling with how quickly Stanford is moving and passing the ball. Cardinal hitting .473. You look at Rubin just kind of split the two blockers before they can get set.
That's basically our look at it.
Hannah Jacobs, a 6'2 grad student from SMU, has come in an extra blocker for LSU. Minor back set. Kipp! Yep. 2012 Stanford.
And Elia Rubin with some nice defensive sequences throughout that point.
Timeout Tigers. Stanford up a set, and they are cruising here in the second. This is the second round of the NCAA Division I Women's Volleyball Championship on ESPN+. Welcome back courtside to Maples Pavilion. Troy Clardy, Tim Swartz with you tonight on ESPN+. Stanford taking the first 25-11. And the lead in the second, 20-12. Winner faces the winner of Auburn and Houston, who are playing a barn burner in Omaha. Houston leads in the 5th set, 11-7. And, of course, that 5th set is to 15. San Diego and Kentucky from this quadrant of the NCAA bracket have punched their tickets to the Sweet 16. If Stanford wins this match, the Cardinal would host the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. If they don't, San Diego would host the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. So far, so good for the Cardinal here at home in front of a really nice crowd. Back row attack, and that's in. Katie Baird.
Thought that might have been destined for the other side of the line, but Baird able to find just enough room to put it down.
I think they're going to challenge that. I'll be honest, we're kind of on the opposite side, and I thought when it came off of her hand and went down, I thought it might have been a little bit long.
Yep.
But we're going to get a look at the challenge here in the challenge system.
This does give us a quick chance to mention 3 other matches that have just gone final in the last few minutes. Penn State, Florida, and Pitt, each punching their tickets to the Sweet 16. So Wisconsin versus Penn State, and an all Big Ten matchup there. Florida sweeping Iowa State 3-6 in that match, and Pitt sweeping BYU, number 2 over number 7 in that one. Hey, I know those guys.
Oh, 2 very good-looking guys. Yeah, so this call will stand 21-12. Stanford with the lead over LSU here in the second set. I would have told him get my good side, but I don't know if that exists.
If I'd known that was going to happen, I would have gone into hair and makeup.
Sergio Gonzalez, Daphne Nelson, Neil Meredith, and Tyrone Toloy, the officials. Daphne Nelson, the down official, just looked at that. I like that too. The down official just looked at it. It doesn't have to be like basketball that we see here at Maples, men's basketball, women's basketball, where one official looks and the next official looks, and it's like a 10-minute song and dance. Did a nice job by this officiating crew. And Daphne making the call. Point to LSU, 21-13.
Yeah, nice aware finish by Aaliyah Williams. And by the way, we've seen Hannah Jacobs for LSU in this second set. Outside hitter, a grad transfer from SMU, originally from New Braunfels, Texas.
Service error. Point Cardinal.
Hannah Jacobs' uncle, by the way, Mitch Kupchak. Currently the Charlotte Hornets general manager. Of course, also a longtime executive with the LA Lakers.
I haven't seen a lot of her this so far, but Jacobs, the SMU transfer, New Braunfels, which is San Antonio area.
Yep. So I'm sure when the Hornets head down to New Orleans to face the Pelicans, something tells me she doesn't have a problem getting tickets.
Getting tickets, yeah. Minor sets left. Baird couldn't put it away. Back-to-back points for the Tigers, who cut it to 22-15. Well, if LSU wants to pull the upset and make things interesting and have Stanford sweat a little bit, a run here would be paramount.
Yep.
Williams back to serve. So far tonight, just one kill on 2 attempts for the middle. Williams. Minor on the slide. That was touched. And the point to Stanford. Annabelle Smith with the point, and Stanford with some substitutions. Taylor Bevan comes in, and Kelly Velarde.
Annabelle Smith, the junior from South Lake, Texas, in the DFW area. Her pet peeve, people who don't use turn signals. Amen to that, sister.
Me too. Me and her can have a long conversation about that.
When are the club meetings for that?
Double block. Vicini was there, Baird was there, and it's set points. Velarde brought off the bench the service specials from Kevin Hambley, who has pushed all the right buttons. It's over the net on LSU in other dominant set, 25-11, 25-15. Stanford in cruise control so far through sets number 1 and 2. Troy will have the third in just about 5 minutes as they have the short intermission. This is the NCAA tournament on ESPN+.
Third set about to unfold here at Maple Pavilion on ESPN Plus as we continue our coverage of the 2022 Division I Women's Volleyball Championship. The Stanford Cardinal and the LSU Tigers. Stanford up 2-0 over LSU. Troy Clarity and Tim Schwartz taking you through it. First set 25-11. Second set 25-15. Sometimes scores can lie in sports. Not so much here so far tonight, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, it was 6-6 out of the gates, and since then, Stanford has just totally dominated the match. LSU, they put a couple of 2-3-point runs together, and they're going to need more of that. And I think really they're going to have to fight for these points. The second thing is the serve return was better in the second set than the first, but that's going to have to get even better.
Winner of this one will face Houston, the Cougars, knocking off Auburn in 5 sets in Omaha. That match went final a few minutes ago. We are underway here in set number 3. It begins with a serve error by the Tigers.
I think that might be another adjustment for LSU is just take more risks on your serve.
Well, you got to lose, right?
Yeah. If you let Stanford take the serve easy and get in system, and it's going to be too easy for them. And thus far, Cardinal are hitting well over 400 in this match, 443. So we'll see the service game if it improves a little bit for LSU.
Dotson. Ogilvy there, as usual, for the dig. And there's Kendall Kipp. We have seen this movie again and again and again. Kendall Kipp with her 16th kill in 20 swings.
It is the type of movie that you can watch 16 times, because that's 16 kills. I don't know if you have a movie you've watched 16 times, but...
Airplane. Gondrin tries the quick dump and gets it. Well done, 2-2.
So my movie's old school. I've probably seen that 16 times, or maybe The Godfather.
Yep, Godfather 2. That was the second one that popped up in my head. As Maddie Walk goes back to serve. She was the Greater Houston Volleyball Player of the Year in the 2021 season. On target, 3-2 LSU.
Yeah, I like what LSU's doing thus far. It's early. It's only 5 points in, but they're bringing on, Walk's kind of one of their service specialists, bringing her on a little bit different of a look. Jacobs as well. Hadn't started a set before this one.
That's long. A rare error for Kipp tonight. 4-2.
Sometimes you see this after the intermission. It used to be a little bit longer, just a 5-minute intermission tonight. But all the momentum was going Stanford's way. Now LSU kind of regathered, and they've come out and fought.
Off the quick set. Hammered down by the Cardinals. McKenna Vicini making it 4-3. And, Stanford gained so much momentum throughout the course of Pac-12 play. McKenna Vicini, a big reason why they're able to put her in better spots to get more efficient swings. That's certainly been a big reason for Stanford's success through Pac-12 play. Kendall Kipp doing things like that hasn't hurt matters much either. 4-4.
I'm sure the message from Kevin Hambley was pretty simple. Hey, you remember last night? You were up 2-0 on Pepperdine, 25-11, 25-18. The Waves won the third, 25-18. So Stanford wants to avoid that happening again and get this done in 3.
Tanya Johnson looking on. That one goes long. Tigers now take a 5-4 lead over Stanford. Tanya Johnson, her first year back at LSU, has certainly helped take the program to heights as part of the 1990 Final Four team. Being tasked with trying to do that again. Meanwhile, met at the net, but it's the point for Stanford as Annabelle Smith wins that battle, 5-5.
Yeah, the last Sweet 16 appearance, 1991, last time LSU got to that second weekend. They've never beaten a top 5 ranked team.
Stanford number 5 in the RPI rankings, entering the tournament, by the way. That one just clipped the tape. Walk, Flickinger, got it down. Finally, a kill for Flickinger.
Yeah, it was off the block. It was off the tip of the Cardinal block.
Aaliyah Williams serving. Rubin couldn't handle that one. Now it's 7-5. Common opponents between LSU and Stanford. There are 3. Penn State, Florida, and Oregon State. As LSU met OSU down in New Orleans on September the 16th. Just got the tape. Minor setting up Rubin down the line. Yes. Got it to go. Where did she? Nope. 8-6.
Yeah, a little wide. It wasn't too long, but a little wide.
Williams serving again. Into net. So those 3 common opponents, Penn State, Florida, and Oregon State, LSU went 1-3 against those teams. Stanford went 2-1. They both lost to Penn State. Rubin serving. Flickinger. Now Flickinger kind of finding a bit of a rhythm on the attack. 9-6. Jacobs comes off. Bonet comes on. There she is, senior from the Woodlands, Texas. Had a career-high 26 digs against Mississippi State late in October. Off the redirect. Kip gets it down, 9-7. Kelly Bellardi coming on. Freshman from Manhattan Beach, her high school teammate, Elia Rubin, down at Marymount High School. Helped lead that squad to a 35-0 record, the national #1 ranking as a senior. She serves. On Wusi. 10-7 Tigers.
Yeah, just snuck it in that back corner. Great swing.
Maybe in some ways you'd like to see a bit more variation from Onwusi with different shots that she's able to uncork, but when you can throw him the fastball and get it down, keep it working. Flickinger, Larkin, Dotson, nope, back row, Rubin. Sent back, back set. Points for Stanford.
Anytime Minor dials up that back set to Kip on the right side, it's basically automatic. It is 19 kills for Kendall.
Her career high is 24. Out. 11-8 LSU. So Kip's career high 24. He's going to have to put a little bit of work in to get there by the end of this third set. Baird waits and wisely watches it fall out of bounds. 11-9.
Yeah, that was a great eye because that one just went long.
There's McKenna Bicini. 11-10 Stanford. Back-to-back points for the Cardinals.
6 kills on 8 attempts. And she is locked in tonight.
And in line with what she has done throughout much of the season. Hitting .420 coming into this match. And you see how she's been able to get in better positions to make positive contact. Well done by Dotson. 12-10. Andrew Johnson says Sinead's maturity and her belief in her ability make her a totally different player than what she was 2 years ago. Back when she was at Oklahoma and when Tanya Johnson was at Texas. Both those teams in the Big 12, at this minute anyway. Larkin sends that one spinning and bouncing into the crowd. 12-11. Stanford trying to close the distance on LSU. To Rubin. High in the air, almost caught the ceiling. Quickly, LSU ready. Williams with the kick save, but that's a point for Stanford. We're tied at 12 apiece.
Yes, it's World Cup's going on. I guess technically she could have kicked it back over if it would have gone on the outside of the antenna and someone could have hit it over. Nope, you got to hit on the other side of the antenna. Nice try.
Can she kick it? No, she can't. This is volleyball. Jacobs the runner. That's out.
Tough shot. Yep. Tough angle there.
Yep.
LSU's block has been much, much better this set. Stanford hitting 333 in this set. It was the Cardinal hitting 483 and then 406 in the first two sets. So their hitting percentage has gone down. Give LSU credit.
Yeah, LSU playing much better in all phases to this point in this third set. Another point for LSU, and now they're up by 2 once again.
The biggest thing, I think at least, is just the energy. I mean, LSU has a lot more energy than Stanford, and the Cardinal trying to see Minor. She's kind of trying to fire up her teammates because Stanford looked a little flat right now, up 2-0. And that's kind of what happened last night against Pepperdine in the third.
Back set. How about that? That one left a vapor trail from Kip. 14-13.
Yeah, that'll wake you up. Kendall Kipp getting the full swing on that.
Kill number 20 for that young lady, Kendall Kipp. (15-13), LSU with the lead and the timeout on the floor. We will observe the timeout ourselves. Stanford with a 2-0 lead here tonight, but LSU trying to extend things. Back to Maples in a moment on ESPN+. Great to have you with us on ESPN+. Of course, ESPN is your home for the NCAA Division I Women's Volleyball Championship from now up until the Final Four in a couple weeks' time. Both of these teams trying to advance. Stanford with a 2-0 lead over LSU. Tigers leading this one 15-13 in the third set. They are just underway in Eugene, by the way, between Arkansas and Oregon. The winner there faces Nebraska. Winner of this one faces Houston. The Cougs moving on. Will they be punching their tickets here to Maples? We'll find out. Aaliyah Williams to serve. And again, the trend of LSU faring much better at the net continues after the timeout.
Yeah, that's officially in this set already for LSU. It's just their first block in the set, but it feels like the block's just been much more effective, forcing Stanford into hitting errors.
Kipp rising from the back row. Lucy quickly, but didn't have enough on it. The miss hit gives the point to Stanford.
Yeah, that's a kind of almost like kind of a gift point for Stanford. Owusu just kind of had that one go off her arm wrong. It could have been 17-13 LSU. Yep. That is a huge point in this match.
Mm-hmm. I need to keep an eye on that. Put a pin in that sequence. Circle back to it later. Finds Baird. Walk sets up Flickinger. Well done by Rubin. On Lucy. Dotson from the back row. And the finish for LSU.
That was the point of the match thus far in terms of the longest rally. And LSU, look at their bench. They're fired up, especially this defensive specialist, Bonet, who's about to serve.
Jill Bonet, both her parents and both of her siblings attended LSU. Her serve goes out. 17-15.
You just saw at the left of your screen Stanford making the substitutions, but the shoes of Kevin Hambley. He's got some pretty nice retro Nikes out there.
Oh, not bad. When you look good, you coach good. Is that how it goes? Velarde serve. Flickinger. A full extension by Bevins, but it goes out of bounds. Kipp back in. Paige Flickinger. Off my fingertips. And the point for LSU, 19-15.
Yeah, Baird couldn't hit the cut shot. And that's the first timeout Stanford has had to use this match.
LSU is ahead 19-15 and trying to extend this to a fourth set. We will keep things here as you look at Tanya Johnson and her coaching staff. It is believed that she is the second female African-American Division I volleyball head coach to reach the round of 32 since volleyball became an NCAA championship sport back in 1982. Linda Hampton-Keith, who is now at Temple, is the other one. She was with the NC State Wolfpack in 2017. So a little history being made by Tanya Johnson, and they're certainly hoping for more history from her in this program. Meanwhile, Kevin Hambley, the Pac-12 Coach of the Year for 2022, just won his fourth Pac-12 championship. Put two of the big trophies on Stanford's mantle. The incomparable Leland Stanford Junior University Marching Band. They're always known for making a headline or two every once in a while. But LSU, so far so good. If you wanted to try to settle things and put things together in the third set, playing better at the net, passing better, doing better in the serve-receive category, and all around playing at a higher level than they had at any point in this match to this point in the first two sets, certainly.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's, I think, they've kind of relied on Walk a little bit more, Jacobs a little bit more in this set, Bonet a little bit more as a defensive specialist. They made their subs earlier in the set, and they played with a lot more energy. I mean, sometimes it's X's and O's, and sometimes it's just how you play. And LSU has come out in this third set, looking for a fourth and playing with energy and fighting for every point.
Baird with the soft touch. We're back to action. Baird the wind and gets it to go. 19-16.
But even that point, I mean, Bonet had an excellent dig to keep that point alive, and just trying to make things not easy on Stanford. Cardinal are hitting 179 this set after they were 43 in the first and 406 in the second.
Off Miner's serve. Bondren scrambling. Cross court set, and the Whistler down the line. Katie Baird starting to feel it a bit. 8th kill for Baird.
Well, he talks about big points. This is a massive point in this match. I think if Stanford scores there, automatic timeout from LSU. And the Tigers are 19-15. Stanford climbing back into it.
19-18. The ace by Kenny Miner.
So you always love it when you have a really good setter and they're serving. It's always a good rotation. This is an excellent rotation right now for the Cardinal.
Well, that was a terrific play by Josie Bondren. They dumped the left hand over the net. 20-18.
She's 3 for 3 in terms of her dumps in this match. Monster point for LSU.
The grad transfer from Ohio State began her collegiate career at Dayton. Larkin serving. Off target from Baird. But no problem for Kipps.
That is why Kendall Kipps is one of the best players in the country and the Pac-12 Player of the Year. I mean, not anybody, but most players can smash those in-system kills, but that is unbelievable awareness and touch, and wow, just a work of art, that last kill.
Oh, by the way, her 21st of the night.
Whew.
Rubin. Right to Larkin. Dotson rises. Point, Stanford. We're tied at 20.
Minor back set Kip has been virtually automatic in this match. And we saw it again there on a huge point. Stanford dialing it up, and give the setter so much credit, Cami Minor, because every single time she has done that, it has worked.
42 assists for Cami Minor. 22 kills for Kendall Kipp. And we're tied at 20 here in set number 3 between LSU and Stanford. Winner here faces Houston next week.
Yeah, Stanford wins. It'll be here at Maples Pavilion with the Kentucky Wildcats and San Diego Toreros coming along with the Houston Cougars. If LSU were to win this set and pull off a shocker, then everyone would be playing up in down in San Diego. So a lot to play for Stanford. Obviously, it is the second round of the NCAA tournament. That's not enough. With the new format they instituted several years ago, which I really like. It is the top remaining seed hosts the regional. That used to be kind of neutral site regional. Remember one year Stanford played USC like in Dayton. Or maybe like a couple hundred people at Stanford. Why is Stanford USC playing in Dayton? So the NCAA made an excellent adjustment, and I'd actually like to see women's basketball do this and go to this type of system where you kind of take away the neutral sites for the Sweet 16 and Elite 8, and you reward the best regular season teams, and you make the regular season mean more when you get a chance to host that last regional.
Of course, USC holding athletic events in the Buckeye States will be a way of life for them, but that's a different conversation that we will not have here. Well, here we go. 20 apiece. Crowd getting loud here at Maples, and Katie Baird about to serve. Stanford would love to slam the door and pull off the sweep over LSU. Bonet calls for it. Minor the tip. And the Cardinal are in the lead.
Okay, it was 19-15, but Stanford has turned it on. The serving of Cami Minor, and then that woman, Katie Baird. Of course, it helps with Kendall Kipp. Just smashing attack after attack.
LSU scrambles for it. They can't catch up. Rubin makes it 22-20. Timeout, LSU. And perhaps the desperation starting to set in for the Tigers. Stanford in 2020, in that spring of 2021 campaign, did not make the NCAA tournament. It was their first time ever missing the NCAAs. COVID-ravaged season. They never had more than 9 players available at any point during that season. They finished 2-8. Last year, better. Tied for 4th in Pac-12 play. Won 19 matches overall, but lost to Minnesota in the second round of the NCAA tournament. This year, more expected of them. They actually picked up in second in the Pac-12 preseason poll behind Washington, who was off to a good start. But then Maddie Ensley got hurt. Then the Huskies season started to go sideways. They got knocked out in the first round of the NCAA tournament, by the way. But here Stanford is, putting together a terrific non-conference schedule, the toughest in the country, I think, bar none for anyone earlier this season, facing number 2, number 3, number 13, number 1, number 3, and number 20 squads, all before they even played a Pac-12 opponent, winning 19 in a row, and perhaps about to punch their ticket to the Sweet 16 here tonight.
I remember Stanford at one point, they're 6-4, and they're facing Washington, and they were still the number 9 team in the country, but since that 6-4 mark, 19 consecutive victories for Stanford. Their last loss was at Oregon, September 25th.
Back to action. Stanford ahead 22-20. Baird with the low dribble. Serve receive, biting LSU once again. Cardinal have won 5 straight points.
Stanford got swept by number 1 Texas at home. Number 3 Louisville won in 4. So it was kind of a, obviously, as Troy was saying, it was the toughest non-conference in the country. But 6-4 record. Things looked a little rocky for a moment, but to give the staff credit, they've righted the ship.
Dotson Ogilvy. Johnson again. Sent back. McKenna Bikini. Match point Cardinal.
This was 19-16 LSU in this set. And Stanford has hit a level, winning 8 of the last 9 points. And here, match point.
Johnson able to extend it. 24-21. Sinead's 9th kill tonight. LSU serving Maddie Watt. Out of bounds. Point for the Cardinal, and the match goes to Stanford. Stanford punches its ticket to the Sweet 16 by sweeping the LSU Tigers. 25-11, 25-15, 25-21. And that young lady is the star of the show. Kendall Kipp, 24 kills, just 2 attack errors, hitting .667 on the night. Stanford putting it all together, knocking out the Tigers and clinching their tickets to the regionals right here at Maples next week.
Yeah, that ties the career high, 24 kills for Kendall Kipp. And the last time it was against USC, and it was in 5 sets. I mean, she has been just an absolute monster on the floor. And Kendall with really maybe her best match at Stanford, with her wanting to play a couple more matches here at home.
10 for 10 at the start went Kendall Kipp. Stanford is able to put it all together. For LSU, they finished the season 16-14. They were not expected, perhaps, to make the NCAA tournament. Picked to finish 8th in the SEC. Tanya Johnson coming in. It's a program that's trying to rebuild itself a little bit and get back to the levels that it was able to find in previous decades. Disappointing end for them here tonight, but I'll imagine LSU has to like where they're sitting as 2023 lose.
Yeah, it's an exciting staff. And I think, they haven't been to the Sweet 16 since 1991, and they've gotten close this year. I thought they tried a lot of fight in the 4th set. They're up 19-16 in that 4th set, but it looked like they just ran out of gas a little bit as Stanford just took over to put that set away.
LSU hits 150 for the match. Stanford hits 384. Kendall Kipp, 24 kills. Kenny Minor, 45 assists. Donna Ogilvy with 19 digs on the evening. Put it all together, Stanford wins its 20th straight match. They are now 26-4 on the season, and the Pac-12 champs will face Houston right here in this very building next week. Now to wrap it up for us here from Maples Pavilion, on behalf of our fantastic ESPN Plus crew and my broadcast partner, Tim Schwartz, I'm Troy Clarity. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight. The Cardinal knocked out the LSU Tigers, and they are still on the road to Omaha, the sweep over LSU. Thanks for being with us here on this Saturday evening from the Farm.